Hello there, this is a narration of the presentation that was given to F&I Sentinel in two parts. I've abbreviated the first presentation, incorporated into this one, and this presentation was given on September 20th. It is the messaging and the architecture in which we will be using moving forward for the brand refresh of all F&I Sentinel customer-facing documents, both analog and digital. So here we had step one. The presentation in step one was the uncovery, and in step two we offered the solution to the uncovery. Essentially, the methodology here is most companies take on a me-first approach. It's conversations around the company, usually focused on features and functionality. But on the problem with this is that studies show that 86% of the value proposition that salespeople as well as other individuals within the organization use to present the company goes in one ear and out the other, primarily because it features on feature functionality that can be easily countered by competition. So this process that we're taking turns it on its head. Once again, if it's company-centric, it informs. It's all about what the company does. There's lots to remember. And for the internal employees, it's a job, the communication of a job. What we're looking to do is we're looking to come up with a narrative architecture that stands for what you ought to be known for, what the company ought to be known for, and it goes beyond a conversation about the company. It is really about the cause or rally cry. So here, a rally cry puts a stake in the ground and it communicates the purpose of the company. It is who the company is at its core. The one thing to remember about the company, it never changes. It's really hard to duplicate, and it's definitely less price sensitive. So with that said, what we're looking to do is reframe the company conversation inside of the cause, your cause, to make it more meaningful and memorable. The rest of the content of this presentation will focus on the key themes that were surfaced during the uncovery process, the resulting cause, and the narrative architecture and the deliverables on how we incorporate the rally cry into various pieces. So first, the company cause. We conducted 15 interviews and teased out key themes. We spoke with 7 of the captive lenders. Captive lenders are those auto lenders who are attached to an auto manufacturer, such as Toyota Motor, Honda Motor, etc. Those are the financing arms of these automotive brands. We also talked to 4 finance companies. So these are companies that finance auto loans, but that are not attached to any particular automotive brand. And then we talked to 4 F&I providers. These are companies, if you would, and there are various stakeholders within each of these organizations. And we presented the good, the bad news, as well as industry frustrations that had nothing to do with F&I Sentinel. So the good news is our audience, our both captive lenders and automotive lenders, viewed F&I Sentinel as ACE advisors. They appreciated and relied on the company's focus on F&I regulations. They also considered F&I Sentinel as the OG F&I pros, and customers trust the deep experience and as the category creator in F&I regulatory compliance. They also perceived us as being ahead of the game, and because we are so focused on F&I compliance and only F&I compliance, they perceive us as being able to help them keep ahead of what's happening in the compliance industry. And they also appreciate the fact that the rank and file at the company at F&I Sentinel were very willing to help them with reaching their compliance goals, whatever it may be, even if it was on the more administrative side or on the more pseudo legal basis. And above all, they perceive the service as a way to keep their consumers smiling, as in there are no surprises, and their consumers are protected. The bad news is the billing structure for lenders, and this is a direct result of the company's rapid growth. The company's only been around for 3 years, and that the integration into a lender's loan origination system is still fairly rudimentary. So operationally, measures are being taken to shore that gap. There's also the bad news also is the product companies, the add-on product companies, or the third-party administrators of those add-on products. They perceive the service offered by F&I Sentinel as a bitter pill because before F&I Sentinel, they could go directly to dealers and go directly to lenders without any oversight. And lenders, because of the complexity of vetting these products and the sheer volume of these products, there are thousands of the different gap waivers or different versions, that it made it impractical and financially unfeasible for lenders to create an arm specifically just to vet the compliance with the FTC as well as the Consumer Finance Protection Bureau, the CFPB. So these add-on product administrators for the longest time was able to operate without any oversight, and with F&I Sentinel providing this oversight on the lender's behalf, these TPAs are understandably hostile to F&I Sentinel's service. They also have complained of the inconsistencies and the duration of the review process of each form, because many of these forms have to be reviewed with by actual qualified individuals. There is a fairly lengthy review process that the F&I Sentinel is operationally looking to bring under control and to streamline. They are also operationally putting into place certain measures and certain ways of organizing these review teams to reduce the number of inconsistencies. And because the TPAs have been operating for the longest time without the oversight, the fees charged by F&I Sentinel to ensure consistency and all is being viewed as unfair. So that's the good and the bad news. As far as the industry frustration front, there is this general perception by both captive lenders as well as general automotive lenders that the wild card here are the dealers, who generally are fairly they do what they want, or they try to do what they can to sell cars. They're also seeing the unpredictable regulatory environment and the FTC and the CFPB's taking increasing steps to regulate F&I products as something that is a threat and a frustration for them. Other non-compliance related frustrations include uncertainty in terms of inventory, as well as uncertainty, as well as rising delinquency rates because of the higher interest rates. And that all affects the volume of deals as well as the volume of cars sold. So what's the cause? Who's the company really talking to? Who is F&I Sentinel talking to? These are the primary audiences. There are, regardless of whether it is within the captive lender or the non-captive lender organization, there is generally an individual at the executive ranks who is the compliance champion. In terms of personality attributes, they are direct. They generally fall within the high D category in the DIS system. They're direct, ambitious. Some are more competitive than others, and they're incredibly goal-oriented. And then you have the compliance captains who are methodical, and they're also leaders, and they prize efficiency. The difference between them and the compliance champion is that the compliance captain prizes details, and it's the degree of details. The contrarian there's always a contrarian within every organization, and they see compliance as a gating factor or a bottleneck to getting things done. These are results focused. They are determined. They're also competitive. And the biggest difference between the contrarian and the first two is that the contrarian tends to perceive compliance as a bottleneck and an impediment to progress. There are additional audiences, and so that internally there are the employees and recruiting efforts as the company scales its operations. There are acquisition targets, so the company is ruling out growing inorganically. And then, of course, there are dealers, members of the media, current and potential investors, as well as influencers of these various stakeholders. So what's on everybody's mind? These are the additional issues and topics that are on the minds of our primary audiences. They are concerned about the current economic environment, interest rates. They're concerned with that affecting price affordability. They're concerned about the unpredictability within state and federal regulators and the increased focus on F&I products, as well as junk fees, or what are perceived as junk fees, and junk fees being policed as UDAP, or the Unfair Consumer Practices Code. They are very much concerned with ensuring the proper disclosure to consumers and how to do that on a consistent basis, since lenders have absolutely very little control over what the dealers put forth to the automobile buyer at the dealerships. And they are also concerned with reputational risks. So when a Honda dealer, for instance, put forth a F&I product, or doesn't properly disclose the sale of an F&I product with either the lease or the financing of an automobile, it's the lenders who bear the brunt of regulatory review, as well as penalties, financial penalties. So this is what's occupying everyone's mind. It's that compliance, this is the headline, compliance requires a constant effort. It's not a, hey, we've arrived. It's not a one and done. It's a conversation that has to keep happening within all of these organizations. But there's a villain standing in the way, and that is this ever-moving, ever-shifting compliance target. So to hit this ever-moving compliance target, we're saying that lenders need a partner that is more than what general legal counsel has to offer. They need a team with real depth in F&I compliance. They need more than standard controls and processes. They need a comprehensive risk management approach customized for every single loan organization's risk thresholds and requirements. They need more than manual data entry. They need a technology solution that minimizes human data entry errors, which happens today. And they need more than a consultant. They need a guide who can help them navigate these tricky waters. And they certainly need more than a technology and automation platform. They need human intelligence analyzing the ever-changing regulatory updates. So our cause is we get F&I compliance going your way. It's never as easy as you hoped, And just when you thought you've made every preparation plan for every contingency, a new mandate or supervisory alert is introduced, throwing off the processes you've worked so diligently to implement. Or how are you expected to monitor and keep in compliance with the patchwork of local, state, and federal regulations? Even with access to legal counsel, can you be sure they are up on the latest developments in the rules? And that's why there's F&I Sentinel. We meet you wherever you are on your F&I compliance journey with industry-first solutions and expertise so you can get compliance going your way. So why is this cause relevant and why does it resonate? Well, first of all, it positions F&I Sentinel as the ultimate guide to all parties. And today it's lenders and third-party administrators of add-on products. Tomorrow it could be including the dealers. It is colloquial, the language is colloquial and therefore relatable. It is a you-first language. It is empowering and it's a promise. The word going reinforces the ongoing nature of compliance. It's also a very positive angle to certainly a very detail-oriented and an industry that could get very much mired in the weeds. And it provides for a pride of work message for existing employees as well as new ones. It appeals to prospects at every level of sophistication. So regardless of where you are in your lending institution and in your F&I compliance, we will meet you where you are. It is confident, proactive, and it inspires action. And your way, once again, it addresses every party within this ecosystem. And so to hit your compliance targets, we at F&I Compliance will partner with you because of our unrivaled experience, unmatched rigor, and unparalleled insights. And this is how it works out in the narrative. So for sales, conversations, and marketing communications usage, this is both spoken and written. I've gone ahead and created the narrative architecture and incorporated it into these various pieces. So to hit your compliance targets, these are our 3 pillars: the unrivaled experience, unmatched rigor, and unparalleled insights. This is the terminology that goes along, or the verbiage that goes along with unrivaled, with each of the pillars. The focus on the first pillar of experience would be that the professionals, the founders within the organization, help shape the passage and implementation of legislation as it pertains to F&I compliance. In terms of rigor, their F&I Sentinel has a compliance management framework and solutions that is tailored for every single risk threshold or every level of risk threshold of the automotive lender's institution. And this is the part that balances the scalability and the rigor with the customization for every organization. In terms of unparalleled insights, the company has specialists who keep both internal and through partnerships ensure that they are the first to know when there is a update being created by the FTC, the CFPB, and the state regulators as it pertains to F&I products. And so this is the supporting verbiage and talking points for sales as it pertains to unrivaled experience. This is the same for unmatched rigor. And this is the same for unparalleled insights. In unparalleled insights, we are focusing on business being the translation of complex issues as it pertains to F&I compliance and as it applies to FTC UDAP compliance, we are going to own this idea that we interpret this information, we break it down in business terms that the average business executive can understand. So that is the stake that we are looking to own. And here's messaging for employees. F9 employees are trusted guides, and this idea of staying vigilant and being on the front lines and potentially the last line of defense for the risks, financial, reputational, litigious, and regulatory that the lender client faces on a day-to-day basis. And so here's our 5-point pitch. I will go through these very quickly. And here's the 8-second pitch. This is something that we would need to incorporate into social media descriptions and taglines. And here's how it would show up in press releases. Boilerplate information. And I'm not going to spend too much time here, but this is a prospect email. And these are initial thoughts on how the narrative architecture and the pillars would show up. I will get to the verbiage on the hero banner in a second. So as part of this, we've also created sayings. They're one-liners that are catchy. They'll catch attention. They are meant to be used as on posters or large format real estate, be it billboards or trade show booths. This is just a little bit of a snark. The client really liked this one. So MBRs are minimum business requirements. These speak to the risk threshold of a specific financial institution's risk portfolio. So it plays off MBRs and ABCs. And that's it. So I look forward to questions and also any additional thoughts that you may have on this, and I look forward to your proposal. Thanks.